So as long as we have encounter with research, I can bet you that there's one form of roadblock that would happen. Some of them are just normal. They are just normal. You can expect it. Like once you are ready to get on it, you should expect some of those things, all right? And some of them are totally unexpected. But we'll be talking about those today. And thankfully, we're recording the meeting, and you can watch over again. You can, tell people. You can still send the meeting link to people. If you have the meeting link, just tell them to sign up for it, and then they will get the replay automatically when it comes. So once again, you are welcome. Just to say a little bit about me, for some people who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Olajumoke Ojeleye, and those who know me, and fondly call me Jumi, so feel free to call me Jumi, Jummy. I am the lead facilitator and founder at the Research Resource Hub, and we'll tell you a little bit about that in a moment. I'm also a nurse, but at this time, I'm concentrating more efforts in the science of nursing, right? I've been a clinical nurse for quite a bit. I've been a faculty member, what you call lecturer. And so in the last 3 years, I've put in more time in, doing the science, getting involved in the science of nursing. I'm also the author of the research workbook. Some of you know the research workbook. Let me know if you have encountered the research workbook in the chat. Yeah, so the book was released in 2020, and please be on the lookout. We're coming with a better, sweeter, nicer edition, second edition of the research workbook in 2025, and we'll let you know when that is out. But right now, we still have the first edition. It's only available online. Yeah, if it's something you want to right away, it's on Amazon. Yeah, but we're coming up with a second edition, and it's really going to be good. I'm also a journal reviewer and also an educator. I love to share my knowledge, and this is one of the ways I love to share my knowledge. Sharing my knowledge, and I wanted to highlight this this part of me about being a journal reviewer. It almost goes without saying, given the few years that I've been in research, but I'm saying that to encourage somebody to say, oh, when you say somebody's a journal reviewer, maybe they know everything and they have all the answers. No, I do not have all the answers. I think I started reviewing for journals when I didn't know as much. So I need to put that out there. And let me tell you why I joined, why I decided to serve as a journal reviewer. Because I told myself that the little I know, I'm going to use it to, in fact, Research Resource Hub hasn't started at the time. At the time, this was like 3 years before the idea of RRH ever came. So, but I thought to myself that the little I know, I'm going to use it to improve other people. And then I will learn from all the manuscripts that I'll be reviewing and use it to improve my knowledge. You see, that's how to be smart. So you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know research end to end before you say you would review for a journal. So, I mean, if you have a decent amount of decent knowledge of research, you can talk about the research process, what happens, at what we need in the introduction stage, we know what we need in the method section of a paper, what we need in the results section, what we should have in the discussion, the conclusion. I mean, don't let me get into training now. I'm just introducing myself. All right, so we'll talk about that, but I wanted to highlight that to encourage somebody, okay? Yeah. And then just a brief about Research Resource Hub. I said it's an educational center and social enterprise that's what we've been doing since 2020. It was founded in 2020. And we provide hands-on support for individuals conducting research. We do a lot of trainings, webinars, master classes. We have a huge amount of resource. I just look at some of the things that we've had over the years. And I'm like, okay, even if I'm at that life where I actively and directly train people do this. And as many who are interested, we will share some of our resources that I believe it's good. It's just what some of you need. You don't even need to listen to me or, talk, sit down. Once you sit down with some of these resources, you can help yourself. You can get started. And then when we get to the complex part again, we can talk. All right. So it was founded in 2022 to provide hands-on support for individuals conducting research and help them to navigate the challenges they face. So this was the idea of setting up the Research Resource Hub. We started having physical meetings in 2020, but thankfully for COVID, it moved online. And I think we've been online since 2020, and our vision is to reach 25,000 learners that have encountered us in one way or the other, with our resources, with our template, with our workbook, with our webinars, with our master classes, one way or the other. But we're still far away from it. But we believe it can be done because there's a huge need. There's a huge need for that. And lastly, our targets are both students and professionals. So whether you are hearing research for the first time, whether you have done research in one way or the other, but you are now working and you still want to use the clinical practice, you want to use research to improve your clinical practice, those are the people we had in mind when we started Research Resource Hub. What to expect in today's session, we'll identify common research roadblocks that we might have, strategies for conquering discouragement. You see, I don't know, it's what it is. You get into research, you just begin to find roadblocks. And I'll tell us more about that roadblock, how to navigate this roadblock, how to handle opposition. If you have done research in one form or the other in your life, you would confirm with me that there's going to be opposition, but there's a way to handle it constructively. I've been having a lot of buzzwords because I've been actively doing research in the last 3-4 years. So definitely I've seen opposition, and I think that makes me be able to talk about it. And same for you too. As long as you've had opposition, you can share your experience, and your experience, negative experiences, can teach you a lesson. Even your positive experiences can teach you something, right? And then lastly, we'll learn about how to build resilience and maintain motivation during the research process. Because, you find these roadblocks, you hit a roadblock, and you just get discouraged. You don't want to do it again. You just want to keep it away for a while. But the truth is that your heart is burning. You want to get into this thing. You want to sit into it. You want to see to the end. But if you don't have the motivation, you will lose steam, all right? And then I'm hoping that some of you will be able to unmute and share your experiences with us and tell us what it is so that we can look at it on a case-by-case basis. We'll see if we can take, some of you would be happy to share your experiences with us. And then why is this subject important? Why are we talking about this today? It's because we need you to we need you to do your research and complete it, all right? We need you to do your research and be able to complete it. That's really important for us. We want you to be armed. We want you to be ready. We want you to know that this is going to happen, but it is not a reason for you to back out. It's not a reason. Yeah. So I'll move into the presentation straight up now. And then I love quotes a lot. Okay, so let's move on. And I'm a quotes girl, and I would like to, for those of you who have encountered the research workbook, you would see that we had a lot of quotes in it. We had things, we wanted to capture the entire chapter, entire lesson in a quote. And this is one of the quotes that I love to talk about in our masterclass. If you know me for a decent amount of time, you would have heard this because I love it. It says, before you start some work, always ask yourself 3 questions. Why am I doing it? What might be the results? Will I be successful? Those are 3 powerful questions. Why am I doing it? 3 questions. Why am I doing it? What might be the result? And will I be successful? Really important questions that we should be asking at the start of any work. Yeah, even if nobody's asking, you should ask yourself. Shanaka says that only when you think deeply and find satisfactory answers to these questions, then go ahead. Only when you think deeply and find satisfactory answer, you must find answers. And I can even tell you that if you are not as satisfied, you can start out and start asking the questions over. I mean, like get started with the questions, but you will find the satisfaction along the line. Why am I doing it? It's really important. Why did you get on this journey? Why did you want to do that research? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? What is the likely results that you might find? You are interested in finding out how young girls manage their mental health, young moms manage their mental health during pregnancy or after having a baby. So you're already thinking, why am I even thinking of young girls? Why am I thinking of their mental health? What do we need to do? What am I likely to use the result for? Because research is not a sprint, it's a relay race. And that's how you should think about it from the start. I'm not saying that everybody that does research will do research for their entire life, but you need to start thinking, because those are the things that will power you. Those are the things that will give you motivation in the research. These 3 questions: why am I doing it? What might be the result? Will I be successful? Only when you think deeply and find satisfactory answers to these questions, that's when you should go ahead. And then another quote again, but I thought this is powerful for us to think about, is that it's one thing to have the faith to get started. It's another thing to have the fortitude to finish strong. Who agrees with me? Yeah. I want to know, put it in the chat for me if you have started a research or you currently a research. If you have started a research and you are currently on a research, please let me know in the chat. Put it in the chat for me. I think I still have my chat. You started a research or you are on a you are just starting out or you are currently on a research. Let me know in the chat. And what kind of research are you doing? Because we'll come back to that. What sort of research are you doing? Yeah. And then we'll move on. So now, types of challenges. I'll still expect to see your, okay, somebody said, Riscott said, I just concluded but yet to defend. Yes, you see, somebody concluded a research, but they're still interested in learning about overcoming research roadblocks because you just don't know where it shows up. It can show up anywhere, at any point in the research process. Yeah. So types of challenges in research. And this is not a theory thing like, oh, we are coming to teach you, some sort of roadblock theory and all of that. No, this is just engaging you, thinking, helping you to think about what you're already doing, what you know, but probably you didn't pay enough attention to, right? So we have challenges can be internal or external. And you see that internal one, we always forget about that. We always don't think about that. We're always thinking of something that comes out from the external, something that comes from another person. But I tell you that internal challenges are very great. They can stop you. They can even stop you before you get started. They can stop you before you get started. Please let me know if you can still admit people into the meeting. Yeah, thank you. The first internal challenge that we need to address is self-doubt and imposter syndrome. All of us feel that way. Somehow you're about to choose your topic, you're about to start that research, you start having cold feet. You start thinking that you can't do it. You start asking yourself, is it me that we start this thing and get to the end? Or they even tell you the steps in the research process, and you're like, me, I will go all that step. I don't think I can do it. Or, I don't even know what I'm doing. Let me tell you, I don't know how many years. I think, yeah, it's over 5 years that I've been actively doing research. What am I saying? 5 years? No, it's about 8 years now, actively doing research. You know what? There are many times I still feel like, what are you even saying? What are you talking about? Do you even know what you're saying? I feel that way. I feel that way. You feel like a fraud. You feel like you are just saying what you're saying is untrue. You see, for that one, you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. Self-doubt will come in the way. I still feel it sometimes. Okay, so that's one thing you should be mindful of. That is it that I don't know this thing, or I'm just doubting myself. I'm just telling myself I cannot do it. I'm just feeling like a fraud. I feel like I don't have the authority to say this thing. That's an internal challenge. And let's see how we'll deal with that. But I mean, I feel that way. I don't know if anybody feels the imposter syndrome. I feel that way a lot, like a lot. You see, I feel that way. Sorry, let me go back to my slide. I feel that way a lot. Yes. But I just have to tell myself that those 3 questions, why am I doing this? What might be my result? All those 3 questions, I just have to ask myself, and I reset my brain again. Number 2, setting unrealistic expectation. That's another internal challenge that you have to deal with. That one is on you. Internal unrealistic expectation is on you. You know what you are doing. You know why you started doing it. You know that, oh, at this level, I probably just need to learn. I just probably need to go and learn descriptive method and just describe what is happening in my environment, what is happening in my practice, what is happening in my day-to-day, okay? But you say, hey, no, I want to change the world. I want to turn the world right upside down. So that might be an unrealistic expectation. Trying to do what you probably don't have the skills for, what you probably don't have the time for, what you don't have the expertise for, what you don't have the resources for, what you don't have the support for. That one is on you. It's a different thing when you're trying to play small and your mentor or support network or the people around you or the environment you find yourself is saying that, hey, we need you to come higher. Because why? We have ABCD to support you. Another one is burnout and fatigue. Yeah. I mean, you can't beat a dead horse. When you have died, you have died. And I don't mean literal dying. Like if you don't have anything in you to go on again, you just have to go and look for how to recharge. You just have to go and look for, that one is on you. I know the environment, externalities can cause you to burn out and have fatigue. I know that for sure. But when that is the situation, you just have to go and recharge. You have to go and fill up yourself again. You just have to go and find your motivation again. You have to go and, look for how to get started again. You have to go and get your fire again. You have to go and look for that one. You see, these ones are 100% within your control. And the last internal challenge I just want to talk about, there are many more, and I would like to hear from you when we get to the interactive Q&A session, because I really want to learn from you, because what your experiences are doing for you is they are teaching you a lesson. But what we do, sadly, is we don't learn from those experiences. We don't learn from what our difficulties, our situations and challenges, we don't learn from it. We don't document it. Do you understand? So the lack of the required research skill is the last one. It's on you. One of the things we put in the research workbook, one of the reasons for coming up with the research workbook was because we wanted people to take control of their research process. There are some things that are 100% in your control. So the workbook was just teaching you like ABC of, okay, this is how to choose your supervisor. This is what to do at your supervisory meetings. This is how to come up with a budget. This is how to do a timeline. Those were the basic things we put in the research workbook, because we thought that it was something that will help you to build your competence, that will help you to remember, there are some things that should be at your fingertip. Some things have to be at your fingertip. So that was so you have to learn the required research skills. You have to know what you don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what you don't know, and what you don't know will always stop you. I don't know how to calculate sample size. I don't know how to develop my questionnaire. I don't even know how to write a research question. I don't know how to write statement of problem. I don't even know what it means when I have to define the key terms in my research. I don't know why I should do that. I cannot connect theory to my research. Theory blows my head up. I don't even know how to Google my research question. Do you see? You know what you don't know. That one is on you. It is your duty, it is your responsibility to gain the required research skills. And I'm hopeful that this webinar, previous webinars, many webinars to come in the future will be helpful to helping you to build research skills, because we just want you to build your skills so that you can do your research. All right. We don't do research for people. We want people to be interested in building their research skill. What we try to do at the Research Resource Hub is to make it look like, easy peasy for you, that I can learn how to find a topic. I can learn how to write my research question. I can learn how to write a statement of problem. I know how to show up to my supervisor. Do you understand? I know how to find funding for my research. Those are the things. I know the things when I'm about to defend, when I'm about to present my results, I know what is most important. All right. That one is on you. And if I spend the whole webinar talking about point 4, we won't go out of here, because lack of required research skills is what is stopping many people. And I'm hopeful that you will continue to share. When a lot of you were registering for this webinar, we asked you that what sort of roadblocks have you encountered in your research? And we saw that, and I'm going to show you the next slide now. We picked just a few of them because it sort of summarizes what everybody has challenged with, okay? Then external challenges, where we focus our attention on all of the time. Criticisms from peer or reviewers, people telling you your work is not good enough. Oh, why did you do this? This doesn't make any sense. Criticisms. And that can be challenging. I honestly, I've been there. I am still there. That can be very, very challenging. Limited resources, when you don't even, resources is beyond money. Resource involves the people that you have, the people on your speed dial. People that you can say, hey, can you read this paper for me? Can you read this 2-page for me? Can you read this research question for me? Please, do you have 20 minutes? Let's brainstorm. Can we have this discussion? That is limited. If you don't have those people in your life, you have limited resources. And you can only do research, quality research, to the extent of the quality of people around you, the quality of your supervisor, the quality of the environmental resources that you have. It's what it is. But the truth of the matter is that nobody has everything for research. Even in the most developed nations of the world, nobody has everything that they need for research. You just have to, there's an ideal. Do you understand? There's an ideal and there's a not ideal situation. And how can I make the best of this not ideal situation? Even when you start getting big grants, I'm telling you, when you start getting big grant, the question is, what do I need? The question is, do you know what you need? And then if you know what you need, where can I find what I need? Sometimes we always say it's money that we need. Maybe sometimes no. Sometimes you just need some collaborations. You need some people in your life. Sometimes you just need to watch a 10-minute video. Sometimes what you need is to practice what you already know and then continue to refine it. What you know is already your resource. Do you understand? And then lastly, is institutional obstacles can really get in the way. Oh, we can't do this in this institution. We can't allow you to do this. You have to do it in this way. You have to do it within this time. You have to do it at this point. You cannot do it before this time. Yes, that gets in the way. So having said so much about challenges, whether internal, external to you, we collected, and thank you for those of you that, put some of the challenges that you had. And I want you to look at this, and if you find yourself there, if you find yourself in any of these challenges, you said, what makes a topic researchable? I had to pick this one because almost half of the people that registered for this webinar had a problem with choosing a topic. That shows that people have a big problem starting. And I'm hopeful that when the replay comes, we're also going to send you other resources, additional resources around topic formation. And that's one of the things we dealt with in the research workbook, how to come up with a topic. There are many ways of coming up with a topic, and you have to be able to practicalize it. You can actually, there's mind mapping, there's lateral thinking, there's brainstorming, there's discussion. There are many ways you can use to come up with a research topic. We have that in the workbook. And we also have some previous webinars and, shorts, videos that we would have to share with you. As long as you are registered or you send a link to somebody who registered or something, we would find a way of collating something. So please, my team, please let me know these things that we need to send to them. Let's take note of them so that we can send it as supporting resource when the email for the replay comes. Making a research topic researchable. You see, the person asking that question, you can see how, and I empathize with that person, because the person probably has chosen many topics, but maybe they tell him or her that it's not researchable, you see. So the question is, what is the problem with the topic? How can you make your topic researchable? What makes a research topic a topic that you want to get into? There are some topics, once you hear it like this, is a roadblock on its own. You can't get started because it's not even sounding like a talk. Just tell people that whatever you choose first is just a working title. Start with it, start thinking about it, get into the process, and you will refine it on the way. You don't have to have a picture perfect. Let me tell you, I'm getting a PhD, and some of you know, and that's the reason why I've not been able to give so much of time at the Research Resource Hub. I think of you guys all of the time. I feel like, oh gosh, we should share this. We should, teach on this. We should have a training on that. But I have limited time. You see, that's another thing. I decided to prioritize what I think is important that can make me better and even serve you at a higher level when I now have more time. You see, but do you know that I still think of my topic and I'm like, I still want to rejig something here and there, right? Until when I finish that research, before I can say, oh, this is the perfect topic. So sometimes you have to get started with a working title. Some of you said how to collaborate in and outside of your field, outside of your industry, getting the resources, and we'll talk on that. Understanding, the concept and design of research. It means that this person wants to know more about research design. How should I be doing my research? How should I design my research? What should be the framework of my research? How to write the chapters. Somebody's asking, how do I write my, intro? How can I write my lit review section? How can I write my result? How can I even interpret my result? My statistician gave me my result, but I don't even know what I have. These are roadblocks. And these are things you want to think of. Remember those 3 questions we started with? Why am I doing this? What might be the results? And what am I hoping to get out of it, and things like that. Choosing suitable theories for your research, referencing your research. As simple as that is, referencing, my God, it can stop you in your track. It can mess your work. It can mess up your work. And we have a masterclass on that. And we hopefully will talk about some of these things again. Interpreting results. Somebody said, I'm just starting out. I don't even know my left from my right. Then lack of the research knowledge and skills. That's what another person is asking, that I even just don't even know what to do. I don't have the skills. I need somebody to teach you. I need a mentor. And another thing I want to talk about quickly now before I move on is that last year we started a community, an online community, where the idea was to really put some of our short courses, not some of our deep research masterclasses that will take you from end to end. We had some really good content, videos, workbook, even we had a library. We had the RH library. The goal was really to, put you in that community, and you can look for the things that you need. You can find them in that community. There's something to start out with. At the minimum, on topic, you will find something. On literature review, you will find something. So we would hopefully bring back that community. We would make more time, to build that community. And we are hoping that when we invite you again, you will join that community, because the goal is to really equip you, is to harm you, is to help you get those things that you need to move on along your research. The community was a free community. It's still going to be a free community, I tell you. And there are many more things that we are thinking and planning for. Apart from the second edition of the research workbook coming in 2025, there are other things that are coming up. But we would like to hear from you a little bit more about each of these things that you have talked about. Okay, so now that you have these challenges, look at these challenges that you've talked about. What are the strategies that you want to use in overcoming them? These are things I just came up with from my own experience and from experiences of the people around me. One, identify your source of challenge. You cannot just tell me, oh, there are challenges in research. Research is just too challenging. I just don't know what to do. Research is too difficult. Research is too abstract. You cannot know it. It's not. I tell you, that's not true. You can know it. You can overcome that research, okay? That challenge. You can overcome it, all right? So identify your source of challenge, or better still, identify something that will come further down the line. Maybe because of the supervisor that you're working with, maybe because of the way you do your own work, maybe because of the amount of time that is available to you. You have to, first of all, tell yourself, this is what I know is internal to me. This is my work life. My work life has swallowed me up, that I cannot do meaningful research if I continue this way. Do you understand? My personality type, I don't do well with interactions. I don't use feedback well. I don't know how to ask people to help me. That's your limitation. And you have to be able to identify it and say, this is on me. And to do research. You need time when you want to do research. You need money. You need resources. Sometimes you will not have money, but when you have some resources, you will get the money, or you will get the things that you want to use money to buy. Sometimes what you need is access. So what is your own limitation? You should answer that question for yourself. What is your own limitation? Also, you need to build and strengthen your research capacity. There is no two ways about this. Build your own capacity. Do you understand? Choose your research team intentionally. I don't know the kind of research that you want to do in silos. I do not know it. I don't know that research that you want to do in silos. You want to start and complete it because God, you were in a vision, or you were in a dream, and God showed you that you were going to do a research on ABCD, and you just feel like, gosh, I have everything. I know where to find this. You need people, guys. You need people. You need people, and you have to choose that team intentionally. Your team is not only made up of your supervisor. We talked about that in that research workbook. There's a chapter on managing your supervisor-supervisee relationship. My God. In fact, that chapter is so deep. In the revised edition that we are coming up with in 2025, it's so deep that we had to develop a supporting resource. As long as you have the research workbook, you would have access to that supporting resource. It's a separate book on its own that we have, different aspects of the supervisor-supervisee relationship that we shared our experiences in. Two of us shared our experiences over the years. Have I had it so good? Some people would think, oh, the reason a particular person is flying in research is because, that person is a father, that person is a mother. You to go and look for father and mother. The person that has father and mother, the person that has a big giant mentor backing them up, or they are flying on the wings of another person. Do you know what they are going through to keep that relationship? Do you know the investments they are making to keep their research team? It's an investment. And that's why I use that word. It's an investment. It's an investment of time. It's an investment of emotion. It's an investment of expertise. It's an investment of many things. Are you ready to cultivate it? Are you ready to grow it? Are you ready to protect it? Are you ready to optimize it, maximize it? There's something that we wrote in the workbook. It says your supervisor's time is golden, it's premium. Treasure it. Some of you need people more than your supervisor. You need a colleague. You need somebody on the field. You need a statistician. You need somebody that can show you where the resources are. Some of you just need an administrative person. Some of you, what you need is an accountability partner. Somebody to ask you, where are you now? What's the next thing? What's the next 5 steps? And then you have to develop a growth mindset. You have to develop a growth mindset, okay? You have to develop a growth mindset, a mind that is flexible. And I'll talk a little bit about that. Okay? A growth mindset. So you have to, looking at this, you've identified your potential source of challenge. You are ready to build your research capacity. Building research capacity is literally reading how to come up with topic. When we send you the videos, watch it. When we give you invitation to join the community of other people like yourself, join the community. Don't just join and be a monitoring spirit. Ask questions, okay? You need peers. You need people at your level. You need people above you. You need people at your level. Trust me, because the person above you does not have time to read every 1 page, every 2 page that you're coming up with. There are some things your friends will see it, your peers will see it, they say, it doesn't make sense. If it does not make sense to your peer, it won't make sense to another person, okay? So, developing a growth mindset, I talked about that. You have to embrace failure. They're going to fail. They're going to tell you the first thing you wrote is trash. You might write it up to 5 times. You might write it up to 6 times. Some of you might have nitty pickers as supervisors that pick on every single thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a resource on its own. So you have to build your own capacity to be able to use feedback, to be able to use failure as a learning opportunity. All right. We'll soon get into the interactive session. Now, how do you transform that opposition? You have opposition. How do you transform it? How do you transform it? Communicating your vision. What do you really want to do? You must know. Some of you don't know how to articulate it well. But if I sit with you, and unfortunately, I can't sit with many people. I can only sit with very few, very, very few people. And that's why we have quite a lot of resources that I'm really eager that we'll share with you, and then you'll be able to make your notes and then, start talking to your peers, start talking to your supervisors. At least when you're going back to your supervisor, you've armed yourself with enough resources, be able to communicate. What vision do you have? Let me share my experience for a little bit at this communicating your vision and research goals. I would give me 5 minutes to share it. When I started out my PhD, or before I started my PhD, I had the desire to work in perinatal mental health. I really wanted to do it because I felt that we don't have a lot of it. And they're always saying, oh, fill a gap, fill a gap, fill a gap. Let your research fill a gap that people have not, we don't have a lot there. Be careful when you're trying to do something that you don't have a lot of work in. And that was that topic, the mental health of childbearing women, childbearing families. I was like, okay. Then in Nigeria, we don't have a lot in that aspect yet. We don't actually have almost nothing. It's like a drop in the ocean, whatever we have. And then when I started my PhD, I knew that the kind of people that I have in my network, the kind of people in the academic, research faculty, the people that will be potential supervisors, they don't have that expertise. I knew, even in Nigeria, even up till now, because it's actually an underserved aspect. We don't have a lot of people doing work in perinatal mental health. But I had that thing in the back of my brain, in the corner of my head. So anytime somebody asks me a question, I'll say, hey, I want to do this, but I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to get started. I was such a newbie in that area. Yeah, not newbie in research, but I didn't really know how to do that type of research. But you know what? That thing costed me a change of supervisor. It costed me, I lost time. But I'm so glad that I got better communicating that vision. Vision is, why do you want to do it? I started out by saying, I want to understand what their mental health means to them during pregnancy or after having a baby, or within the first 2 years. I want to know how they manage it. I want to know how they manage the conditions that happen in that period. I want to know what has been helpful to them. I want to know what has not been helpful to them. I want to know what their needs are. So because it was, and it took time, God, it took time for me to get to that place that I can say it. Give me all the 1 hour. I'll be saying it. It took me time to say what are all the problems. And that's how you choose a topic. And we have something in the research report. You will have heard about it, mind mapping. How do you mind map? How do you go from one point to another point and you're connecting the dot? You're connecting the dot. It's so powerful. It's just I can't share my screen right now. But I have a mind map. What the picture, in fact, the paper is so dark now because I've painted it. The mind map that I started out with, it's on my wall. I see it regularly. I look at it. And maybe I can take a picture of it and share it as a resource. How I started connecting the dots from here to here to here to here. And I'll say, Jimmy, what are you going to do at this point? If you have 6 months, which of these problems can you solve? If you have 8 months, which one can you get on? If you have 2 years, which one can you do? If you have three years, which one would you be able to do? So I started looking at it and we started with the low hanging fruits. It was because I communicated a vision. They were like, okay, this is what you want to do. Can we start out here? Can we start out here? So that's one thing. You have to learn how to do that. Because if I don't know what you want to do, I cannot help you. It would be a waste of time to sit with you if you cannot tell me what the end goal is. And some of us are big picture thinkers, right? You think of the end, but you don't know how to sit with the details. That's another thing. So you have to think of this big vision that I have, or this project that I have. What are the steps in it? I'm not talking of the steps of the research person. What are the steps in it? What does the little part? What are all the parts in this thing? Maybe you have lumped 27 parts together, and that's why you're going to hit a roadblock. Because you can't do research that way. You have to go from simple to complex, okay? Then 2, differentiate between constructive and destructive criticism. You are going to get a 2, but can you differentiate between it? Destructive, constructive. Can you differentiate when I'm giving you so I think that when it is constructive, it builds you up, it helps you to improve, right? If it is destructive, it breaks your spirit, it breaks your morale, it makes you lose interest, it disempowers you, okay? It makes you feel worthless and like you're pursuing something that has no future. I got the 2. I got it at every level. When I was doing research at bachelor's level, at master's level, and now at the PhD level. I got everything. And so you will get it. You will get it. But it's just that I've gotten better. I've grown my capacity in identifying it. Do you understand? I've grown my capacity. Please let me know if you can still see my screen. I've built my capacity. When I see destructive criticism, I know. And again, the destructive criticism reduced. Do you know why it reduced? Because I got better with communicating what my research goals are. It got better. So everybody's just loving it. Like if I talk about what I'm doing, 8 out of 10 persons is stuck. They're like, tell me more. I want to hear. Oga, sister, it took me time. It took me time. Yeah, thank you. It took me time. So that's it. And then learning to utilize feedback. I can't overstress that. Advocating for yourself, negotiating, somebody is telling you, you have to do this in 3 weeks. You have to do it in 1 month. You ask, can I get a little bit more time? How about I give you this part of it in 3 weeks, then that other part, can you give me a little bit more time to go and work on it? Negotiation includes beyond your supervisor, who is going to help you? Yes. Can I get a co-supervisor, ma, sir? Because I'm thinking that this person knows this part of the work very well. Can we negotiate and have a co-supervisor? Do you see? Negotiation includes, oh, your supervisor is trying to give you additional work, right? But yet they expect you to turn this in. Can you say, ma, would you allow me work on this one first? And then that other one, I will work on it at a different time. And I'm not encouraging you to be lazy here. Negotiation sometimes includes even negotiating with your own family member, with your own immediate network. Do you understand? Because what you are trying to do is you are creating a higher level of value. So if you don't negotiate with people in your space, in your life, even in your family, oh God, there's a story I always share. I mean, if you've heard me a few times, I remember when I was collecting data for my master's project. I didn't have research assistants, but I looked at all the people in my life. How can I convert them to research assistants? Oh gosh, it was very funny. Thinking about it now, there was this caregiver I had. She became a research assistant because I remember one of the days I had to go to the schools because I used 20 schools, 20 high schools for my research, 20 in Lagos. My sample size was 500. And I had to go to 20 schools for that study. I used, one day I was going out, it was time to go to that school. I didn't have my peer, I didn't have my colleague, and I needed help, as in, I don't want to die on that journey. And I just called her, let's go. I said, your job here is to hand this questionnaire out and collect it. But when you are collecting it, check it, was it filled? If it is not filled, return it back to the person. It saved me a lot of work. It saved me a lot of work. I remember another day I was going to another location, for my study, and my mom was hanging out around that place. And I told her, of course, she's learned. I said, Mom, I don't have enough help. I don't have money to be a research assistant. It was self-funded. And, my mom came there. Even before I opened up my mouth, she saw that I needed help. She saw it. And that day, she just, started collating this for me, started collating that for me. And when we finished, I said, Mommy, thank you. I said, Mommy, thank you. She said, of course. That I saw that, like, it's a no-brainer. And it was intentional for me to tell her where I was, my location that day. It was intentional because I knew that I needed backup. So you have to be creative about the people in your network. What can this one do for me? What can this one not do for me? Maybe some of you are even giving the work that you should be giving to your classmates. You are giving it to your supervisor. I mean, your friends can deal with that. Your peers can deal with that, can give you that feedback. And then also strategies for securing resources and support. A lot of us, need how to get grants, and I'll talk to you again about that. That might be a different webinar, and honestly, there are things to do. I've gotten a few grants now in my PhD program, and I'm so thankful that I got them. I got 3 at least. I'm so thankful that I got them because it made a difference between what I would have been doing and what I'm currently doing. Okay. So also, when you are trying to negotiate, we are trying to get feedback from people, building some flexibility, all right? Building flexibility, account for delays. Your supervisor might tell you, I'll get back to you in 1 month. It is you that have to make sure that you send it earlier. Okay, you send it earlier, give them time to look at it. Sometimes I see some people's work, they tell me that, oh, it's ready for publishing. They tell me that, oh, it's ready for data collection. I look at it, I see that it is nonsense. It is shoddy work. It wasn't well done. And they tell me that supervisor has looked at it. It shows that the person didn't look at it. Because you didn't give the person, you didn't give your supervisor, you didn't give your advisor enough time. And because you wanted it now, they just throw it back at you. They just throw it back at you to go and deal with it and figure the problem out. And I know that can be very stressful. I'm telling you, it can be very stressful. I've been there. There was something I thought it was ready, it was good, it was sweet, it was, this thing is the best thing in sliced bread. My supervisor told me it's not ready to go. I cried. I was like, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Are you the devil? But no, it just was not ready. And when it was ready, when God helped me to be patient and it was ready, guys, it was just the best thing. You know, so I'll move quickly now. How do you build resilience in this process? How do you build resilience? One, you have to set achievable goals. And when I say set goals, set monthly goals. I want to do this research over 6 months. What am I going to cover in month 1? What will I cover in month 2? What will I cover in month 3? That is, if I break this work down into 6 months that I have, what must I be doing in 30 days? What must I be doing in month 2? What must I be doing in month 3? You have to work backwards, okay? Work backwards. There's no two ways about it. Set achievable goal. And by the time you break it down, even you tell yourself, this thing is not achievable. You will tell yourself, so you quickly downsize it, or you look for additional backup on it. Do you see? Stay accountable to a supportive network, manage your time well, learn how to manage distractions. Yes, learn how to manage distractions. I can't tell you how to use your time, but I can tell you that your time is precious. Your time is premium. Protect it. Protect it, including social media, anything that is taking you away, using your time, cheating you. You are cheating yourself anyway. Protect your time. Prioritizing tasks, know what is important to be done now and what I want to leave till later. Which of this is my business? Which of this is my business, but I need another person to help me in the business? Which of this is another person's business that is not my business? The day I learned that thing, oh my God, it was a lifesaver. My business. The second one, another person's business. But we need to do it together for the thing to, some sort of collaboration. Then thirdly, another person's business that is not my business, but you're trying to make it your business. Protect your time. Practice mindfulness, self-care, stress reduction techniques. Some of you just need a little bit more sleep. You just need a little bit more sleep. Some of you just need to hang out with the right person. Some of you need to get into the right gist. Excuse me. You need to get into the right, talking with the right person, okay? And then celebrate your small wins. Celebrate your small wins. Celebrate your small wins. Oh, your topic got approved. Check. Celebrate it. Be thankful. Be excited. Look at where you are there compared to where you want to be going. You see that? Celebrate your small wins. I finished collecting my data. Celebrate your small win. Oh, I just submitted my paper for proposal defense. My supervisor is going to look at what I have. Celebrate. It's a milestone. Don't wait till you finish that research. You will be tired. You need energy. Okay? And then set deadlines for yourself. I already told you about that. Block out time. Block out some time for work. I wanted to share this next slide for you to see what I do. For example, I've even moved past this. This was as at last year. Okay? This was like last year or 2 years ago, to say, this is what I am going to do with my research. Okay. This is what I am going to do with my research. I said, okay, I'll create a 12 months. But this one of forming opposition into opportunity, yes, you now have that challenge. How do you transform it into an opportunity for yourself? a growth opportunity. I talked about building resilience, how to maintain your motivation. And I wanted to just use this slide to show you an example of how you can break things down. But the point is, you must know all the steps. I know one of the things that we have shared in the Research Resource Hub master classes, the past master classes, was like how to, create a timeline for your research. So this is like a part of it that I'm just sharing here, because a lot of you would have to start from topic selection, choosing supervisor, blah, 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 all those preliminary things that you have to do, and you have to budget time out for it. There's a chapter in the research workbook, I remember clearly, that you are going to tell us all the things that we have listed out, all the things that no matter the kind of research you are doing, no matter how little it is, you have to have it in your timeline. So this is not a complete one. I'm just giving you an example. When you are moving through phases, at this phase, you must be ready to say, oh, I have defended, I want to start collecting data, I want to start, sharing my questionnaire, I'm submitting for IRB, those things, you see, these are the later things. But yet, I had to draw up a timeline for it. So for example, you see, 12 months, I had to give it 12 months. I had to give this 12 months because, again, it's a PhD and I have the time, all right? In bachelor's, you won't have it. The marks I think you might be having for the whole thing, from topic selection, can range from 6 months to 12 months. Yeah, some schools will give you about 6 months. I won't be surprised if some schools make you do it in less than 6 months. But I mean, it won't be good enough, except maybe you already have it good, you already have it going somewhere. It's part of somebody's work and you just want to pick out one small piece of it. So look at it. Can you see? You have to, let me see if I can. Okay, so can you see that this is the month, and these are the things that has to be done. So for instance, IRB approval has to happen in 2 months. And this was because it has even been submitted earlier, guys. It had been submitted earlier. 2 months blocked out. Pilots, maybe you have to pilot test your questionnaire before you go and use it, because you know that if I don't pilot this thing, it might not be okay for my population. I might have to test it. Do they understand the question? How long will it take? Is it too much? Is it too little questions and all that? Piloting, I put it that, okay, we can be piloting while we're waiting for IRB approval. Oh, I have to recruit. Recruiting means that you have to get the kind of people that can answer your questions. You see, somewhere here I said, oh, by 2 months or halfway into the study, we should have gotten halfway the number of participants. I need 100 people. So it means that by month 2 or by month 3, I must have gotten 50 people. If I don't get 50 people, I already have a plan. What am I going to do? Am I going to do a sponsored post? Am I going to add more areas where I can get data from? Am I going to get a research assistant? And again, research assistant, I got one during my master's program. I didn't pay for them. Remember how I said I flipped the people in my network, in my community. I flipped them to be research assistants. Can you even imagine that? Can you even imagine that? Okay. So, when I start getting the data, I'll start looking at it. Is it looking good? I don't want to wait till all my data is in before I now say, the data looks somehow. The data looks somehow. This data is not going to answer my research question. This data looks more like another question. No, I start looking at it, an initial analysis. Okay, after that, I analyze the whole thing. I have to start writing reports. You need to do defense. You need to start submitting little parts of the work for conferences. Oh, I want to share it at conference. I'm so excited. This is my hard work and I want to talk about it. I want to submit this paper for publication. You see, preparing and submitting the manuscript, because it's a different ballgame when you're not trying to write for publication. It's different from all those things that you wrote in your thesis. right, in your dissertation. So this is just an example. And again, I could share this, and we have a template from the research workbook. We can share it again with us in the community. All right, so now this is over to you. What are your next steps? And what are your next steps? What are your next steps? How do you want to reduce the impact of research roadblocks? Or sometimes we need those research roadblocks, but we need to be able to flip it on its face and use it for our advantage. What are your next steps? Hearing this now, you can say that I'm not trying to give you one theory. I'm sharing from things that you already know, that you're currently experiencing. But a lot of times, we are not allowing our experiences to teach us quality lessons. Now, one of the questions that I have that can help you get started thinking about some of the roadblocks that you are encountering, some of the challenges you are experiencing. Do you know the requirements of doing research at your institution? Some of you are in one institution or the other. What are the requirements? Do you even know to do a good research in this place, or to have the best research? Maybe there's what we call the best dissertation award. You know, the most outstanding dissertation, the most outstanding. What do I need to do? Because maybe some of you want to, be rewarded for your hard work. Do you know the requirements of doing research? What kind of references style do they use? What's the minimum that people do with research? Do people have to go and collect data? Or can they do research with data that is already existing? Maybe somebody has collected the data, but I can look for another question that I can ask from an already existing data, which we call secondary analysis. Do I have to collect my own data? What are the requirements of doing research in my institution? Answer that question. What sorts of funding have you explored in the past? Or are you willing to explore soon? Because funding is critical. Which one have you explored? Some people say, as part of the questions or what they look forward to in this session, they said that they want to find out source of funding. And you see, there's a lot to do. And God will help us. Just pray for us at Research Resource. Pray for me too, okay? We need to start collating those sort of funding sources that are out there. But guys, there are funding sources. Which one have you looked at? When you looked at it, did you prepare a good application, a competitive application? Maybe it was only one person they were going to choose, but you thought that maybe if I just throw one shoddy thing in, maybe somehow luck will just smile on me. No, you have to give it your best. If you find a funding source and you are trying to apply, some of them are within the country, some of them are outside of the country. And even again at RRH, we have some good stuff coming your way as far as funding is concerned. So hang around, stick around. We're doing something next year in 2025 as far as funding, as far as supporting research go. But people don't give money to people that want to do anyhow research. The research has to be worth the money. The funders have to see that, yes, this is good stuff. We will put our money here. Then another question, who beyond your supervisor have you identified as helpful and instrumental in helping you complete your research? Some of you are always looking at your supervisor alone, and then your friends, your peers, that you can use them as sounding boards, as brainstorming, resource. The only thing you do with your peers is complain. You complain how bad your supervisor is and how terrible your research is going. You've forgotten that they are also a huge source of resource. So who beyond your supervisor? Who is that academic staff? Maybe the person is even a non-academic staff. Have you identified as helpful and instrumental in helping you complete your research? Those are some of the things that you can do to manage roadblocks before they even come. Then how will you use all these ideas to refine your proposed topics? Some of you maybe just need to go and speak to a technical staff in your department to say, I'm thinking of this, what do you think? All right, so I want to close out with this. It says resiliency is not gender or age specific. It's not intellectually specific, as Dan Brown said that. And if it's a replay, if you're watching this on replay, what questions do you have? You can send us an email at researchmasterclass@gmail.com, info@researchresourcehub.com. We'll put it in the replay. What questions do you have? What would you like to talk about? How have you tried to resolve a challenge in the past? But the challenge did not want to, the challenge kept challenging you. It did not go. Like, you used some measures, but you couldn't resolve it. Watch out for next editions, okay? Watch out for next editions of our webinar. We have a lot of good things coming. Yeah, we have a lot of good things coming. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram at the Research Resource Hub. We're on Facebook at Research Resource Hub. And we're also on YouTube. Most likely we might put this on YouTube too. We'll send you the link, the replay link of this. You can share it with your friends and community and, people that need this or need to hear this. And then we have a feedback form, right? Let people tell us what you think about the session. What did you think about it? How helpful would this be for you? Yeah. Again, let us know what things that you would like us to talk about the next time. What topics you would like us to talk about the next time. Okay, Oluwafemi Ayeni has a question. Yes, you can unmute. I believe you can unmute yourself.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that awesome session. I got to learn about new things that I plan to implement in my research. So yeah, I would like to ask, I'm not sure if it has been addressed during the course of the session because I joined a bit late, but I would just like to ask for some of us that we are yet to get funding for our research, and at the same time we are working, more specifically for those that our workplace is different from the institute we are carrying out our research. So what is your advice on how to balance expectations from your supervisor, especially if you have a demanding supervisor? You are also trying to work to make ends meet, get money for your research as well, since you're self-funded. So yeah, what's your advice for someone in that kind of situation? Thank you.
Yeah, so Nifemi, it sounds like you've asked me two questions, or maybe it's one question sort of splitted into two. You asked about sources of funding, like how to get money for your research, and then you also asked how to balance your work with your research. Yeah. So am I correct? Was that what you asked me?
You already answered the first question. So yeah, just the second question.
How to balance work expectations, with your
supervisor's expectation.
Expectation.
Yeah, exactly.
First off, most of us, well, maybe I would say only at my undergraduate level did I do a research and that I wasn't actively working. Only at undergraduate level, and maybe because, of course, your parents are funding your education, and you just ask for all the money that you need. Yeah. But by the time you start getting to masters, and you have to be able to look for the money. You have to be able to look for the money. And that's why a lot of people have to work and also go to school. That's the reality, and let's talk about it. It is what it is. That's number one. Number two is that you have to explore sources. I'll give you an example. Are you a clinical person, for example? In what field are you doing research? Sometimes some of your fields have money. Association have money. Yeah, something nurses association, something petrochemical engineers, they have association, they have money. I'm just giving you example. Some of your institution had my first funding, the first grant I ever got, it was 100,000 naira grants, which was how many dollars would I call that? I got it from my institution. How did I get it? I proved to them that this thing, I proved to them in at the office then that this project was going to help the staff members have an higher level of, expertise as far as training is concerned, as far as recognizing things in patients, recognizing symptoms. It was around genomics and it was very new. So maybe because it was new, it was quite interesting. And because I was in this training program with one university in South Africa at the time, I was in Nigeria. And there was this university from South Africa that came to do a training. And because I showed a lot of interest, I got to the end of the training. I was facilitating even I was a trainee, but I was also facilitating. And then it was now time for projects. It was time for projects. And I presented a proposal to my institution to say, hey, I'm doing this training with this organization, which you already knew you gave me time for. I asked for time. You gave me time. I've been going every Tuesdays or so for the training. It's time for projects. And we don't have this in Nigeria at all. We don't have it. Do you see? So it means that I had to look for that training at the beginning. And then I was able to now put together a proposal to my institution and I got money. The money I got was more than what I needed, truth be told. That is, it was an ideal kind of funding for the descriptive project that I wanted to do at the time. Do you see? At this level that I am, or before I got to this level, I'm in my final year, going into the final semester of my PhD. So yeah, we're getting that PhD, no matter the roadblocks we find on the way. So at this level now, I've now learned to even go beyond Nigeria. I look for funding across Africa. And I'm going to share some links with you. I found some. The question is, would you put in a competitive application? There's some funding that I see now, but the reason I can't apply for the funding is they say you must be schooling in Africa. I'm like, almost see street money, see cool money. Do you understand? You must be able to search, like literally just doing a random search on Google to say funding for PhD students or funding for graduate students studying in Africa, or funding for science grad. You have to put some keywords. I'm telling you, something is going to start out. One thing I can think of on top of my head right now is Opportunity Desk. If somebody can put that in the chat for me. Opportunity Desk. Till now, I still check Opportunity Desks. For many things that you can be doing, they have funding. Or sorry, not that they have funding, they collect funding. So I don't know if you are a clinical person, a nurse or something, I don't know what you do, or the kind of research that you are doing. But you will now have to start going by industry again. Another thing you can explore is, can I do a part of my study in Nigeria and do another part of the study in another country? And that another country will fund, the research part of your work. So there are many things that we can look at. I mean, this session is not about funding. We can sit into that session by itself. What does a grants proposal, what does a proposal for funding look like? My God, it is not small, it's not small work. When you are preparing a proposal for funding, it's not small work. There are many parts. Your CV will be there, your budget, nicely what to do with the money, how this money you are asking for, how your research fits into the vision and mission and the goal of the funder. There are many things that you have to think of that makes your grant proposal very competitive. I don't know if that helps you. I don't know if that helps you. But if it does not yet, you can ask a follow-up question on that and I'll be happy to answer you. So, because funding will make your life easy. And if there is no funding, you have to be creative, all right? Then if you are doing research and you are working, which means that you spend more time at work than on your study, it means you have to plan to do your research over an extended period. You will not be doing 6 months. No way. In fact, you might do 18 months for your research alone, for the research piece alone. Don't forget that you would have gotten your proposal ready. I'm talking of from proposal. I'm not talking of from choosing topic. From proposal. Proposal is ready to me completing it so that you will not put yourself under undue pressure, because that work you are doing is super important. Especially, and it's so good if you are doing a work, you are doing your research in the kind of work that you are currently doing. It makes it even sweeter. Which means that you are seeing some things, you are uncovering insights in your day-to-day practice. I'm not saying that maybe you are collecting data in the same institution where you are working as, some of you will have to get data outside your primary place of assignments. Do you understand? I didn't work in secondary school, so it was an additional thing for me. It was additional. I had to create time, commute time on the road. I had to build it in. Do you see? I had to build that time in. So, but if you can do it in your place of work, it makes it even better, sweeter. Like, there's nothing more sweeter than that. But if you cannot do it there, you have to build that time in. And the fact that you're collecting data in your organization does not mean it's easy peasy cheesy. It's still going to be work. It's still going to be work. Because you are actually you need to do your 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever that thing you are doing at your work. Because your boss will not say, because you are doing research, you can be in this unit and be moving around before they say you are using office time for, that kind of thing. Yeah. Any other question? I hope to see it in the chat. Opportunity desk, yes, check it out. And then the nitty-gritty of research funding, we might have to talk about it in another session. I'll be happy to share an example of what I have used, that have gotten me funding. I have some that I've applied for, got funded, some not funded, but I think I submitted 5. You see, that's another thing. You can't be submitting 1 and then they said, oh, sorry, we are not able to fund your research at this time, and you are feeling bad. That's not a roadblock. What you should have done is you should have submitted like 6. You should have submitted like 6, hoping that 1 will come back positive. I set a goal that I was going to submit 3. A goal, that was my goal. And I blocked out time for the goal of that funding. And guess what? I ended up submitting 5. Was it 5 or 6? 5. And guess what? 3 was funded. Were they for different projects? No, the same projects. And when I was making that application, I said that because they will ask you, has this project been funded before? I said yes. I wanted to lie. Like, maybe, I had to ask my advisor. I said, if I say I have gotten funding before, would they prevent it? No. Do you understand? So I already set the bar high. I submitted 5. when the last one came, I was like, people should stop this thing now. I wish I had submitted a proposal, funding for another proposal. That's how people will get money to continue to do research. They're always moving from one research to the other because they've done the work. They've done the work. And many applications will come. Many applications. Maybe it's only 1 that they want to fund. Only 1. Yeah. Any other question I would, and if there is any other thing you think of, like you're watching this on replay, please send us an email at, researchmasterclass@gmail.com. You can also send it to info@researchresourcehub.com. Yeah. If there is no other question, we would like to bring this to a close. It's been a joy. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you. We almost postponed this webinar we almost postponed it, but I'm glad we did it. It's as if I just give back to baby 3 or baby 4 now. Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, it's done. I let it off my chest. On to the next. And we hope to see you at our next webinar. Any announcements? Demilade, we have an announcement, right?
Yes, we do.
Please go for it.
All right, Ma. Thank you so much for that session. We loved it. It was amazing. I personally learned a lot, and I'm sure that I speak for everyone here when I say that we all learned a lot. Yes. So without further ado, I'd like to bring this to a close, but we have a few announcements. The second edition of the research workbook will be dropping in 2025. It will be dropping in 2025. And trust
I'm
me, you want to
excited.
get your hand on this resource. I am. I am. Trust me, you want to get your hand on this resource. I'm sure most of us here have in one way or the other seen the first edition, and trust me, you know what it was, you know it was good. Yes, and this one is coming even bigger and better, so you do not want to miss out. And in that light, you would want to follow us on social media, on all our social media handles, so that you'll be the first to know when the book drops. Yes, so follow us on Facebook at the Research Resource Hub. Follow us on Instagram at the Research Resource Hub. Follow us on YouTube as well. And you can reach out to us via email on researchmasterclass@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on via email as well on info@researchresourcehub.com.
Anyone is still on the call, but another thing I want us to watch out for next year is Research Resource Hub is thinking of some sort of funding to support researchers. It's a need, and it's just like one of the least again that we can do. You know, people always say, it's the least you can do. Funding is like the least. It's another list. It's not an high. Do you understand? Apart from building research capacity. So be on the lookout for that. It for sure is coming. It's coming. Like, just wait for the announcement at the right time. It's coming in 2025. Yeah. Yeah. And in fact, to give you heads up, it will come in maybe Q2 or Q3. Yeah. Q2, Q3. Yeah. That's what we are thinking of. All right. Thank you, everyone.